So I just finished watching Ghost Hound, so I'm gonna give a review of this anime. I've been following the works related to Lane, Hambre Rembe, Chex No Lies, Nia 7, etc. with works done by that similar staff. And this was, you could say, the last major work. So I've come full circle. And I thought it was pretty good, a pretty good anime. I'm gonna talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about it. But I feel like a lot of people did not like Ghost Town. And I think I could kind of explain why. And that would be that people came from Lane and Textualize, and they were probably expecting something darker, more grimmer, more gruesome, and more, just more extreme. But at first glance, this anime doesn't seem that way. So it really came down to a bad first impression on a lot of people. It's worth the whole watch. So I would say that, for example, it has a jazzy opening. I like the opening. I thought it was pretty well done. I like the music. But I could see how it kind of put off people that were kind of more into like the electronic stuff from Lane and all that, and Textualize and all that. Also, the first episode moves very slow, which was not very good. But it does pick up right off from episode 2, and it starts to pick up a lot. Also, the animation, it's almost Digimon-like. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not like that because, again, the fans of the people that made this work were expecting something more hardcore, more extreme, and this didn't seem like it at first. But if you do give it a full viewing, yeah, this anime could be even more scarier than Lane or Textualize. In fact, this is the only anime that could scare me, and it scared me multiple times. I'll get into that and so if we begin, we'll start with the scary scenes. So, and I'm gonna talk about spoilers. I kind of have to because I'm reviewing it. And this anime scared me in the way that it. Actually, before that, I might as well already start talking about it. There were two scenes in particular that scared me. The first scene is early on when Taro and them go to that abandoned building he got kidnapped in, and he's walking on the bottom level, and you see a woman from far away in a white dress with no face, long arms, begin to chase him. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, what is kind of freaky. And so she gets faster and closer, and Taro starts running, cuts around the corner, then turns back, and she's gone. And it was quiet. See, the scary parts in this anime were silent. And I think that's the best kind of scary scenes. Because nowadays, scary scenes are cheap. They rely on loud sounds, and that's actually very obnoxious. It has nothing to do with the monsters or the plot, and I really just not like that kind of, those kind of scary scenes. And that's how a lot of Western scary scenes are. And it's very disappointing that they have to resort to random loud sounds to scare people, when this anime could do it silently. I think that's the best kind of fear to feel in a scary movie, or one of them. The second scene involves the psychiatrist when he's in the school, and he sees a little girl running into a classroom. Now right away, just the way the girl moved, how strange it was for a little girl to be there. I already knew right off the bat something bad's gonna happen. Something I'm not gonna lie is gonna happen right now. And he goes into the classroom, doesn't see anything. It's kind of dark. He's like, okay, I guess this is fine. He looks down, and right away, you are immediately transitioned to a scene of a girl with her eyes kind of caving into her head, and it was just staring at him, and it scared me. It was like midnight, and that woke me up. But I really appreciate the fear in this anime. Something that Lane and Textualize couldn't do. Now, were they trying to do it? No. But a lot of people always comment how they get freaked out by these kind of shows and how they're scary. And they can be. One of the things I really like about Ghost Sound is how detailed it is in exploring its themes and ideas. The show revolves around a lot about psychiatry, the brain, astral projection, lucid dreams. And the anime does a very good job kind of going into detail about what this is about, because a lot of it is based upon actual real world things and ideas and studies. So it's a very interesting topic of themes that get explored throughout. Characters, for character-wise, I thought the characters were all alright. I in particularly liked Masayuki. I thought he was a very cool guy. So you could probably already have guessed by the images I chose to tie on this screen. He actually kind of killed somebody because he kind of touches upon it in the beginning, and then you see that he had bullied somebody to the point where they killed themselves, and that's what haunted him. And he also has a fear of heights. And he said that one of the ways to get rid of the fear of something that you're afraid of is to face the fear directly, and that's what he did. He climbed over the rail that the kid jumped off from. He looked down and thought, okay, maybe it's not so bad after all. And then the wind coincidentally picks up and he almost falls, and he ends up getting extremely frightened, but it seems that he overcame his fear after that. Then there's Taro, who was the main character. I thought he was a likable main character. I didn't like him towards the end. My main issue with Ghost Hound was the ending. It was very underwhelming. I'll get into that later. And there's Makoto. Makoto is a very angry kid that likes to play guitar. He has some of the better character development in the anime in relation to how he gets along with his mom, how he hates her at first, and they both kind of resolve and forgive each other. I thought he was a likable guy. And then I forgot his name, but the kid that gets bullied that Masayuki saves. I mean, he comes in much later. He's sort of like a helper along the way. There's not really much focus on him. There's no real resolve to his bullying. Like, yeah, Masayuki helps him and takes the bullying, but there's no resolution really to it besides that. And I just didn't really feel moved by that character. But he was alright. Just not incredible, in my opinion. The bullies eventually get scared because they have a run-in with Masayuki while he's astral projecting. Because in this anime, the main cast can astral project into these really badly designed characters that look like gummy bear baboons. So I thought they could have done a much better job of that. And a lot of strange things happening while they're astral projecting. Like Masayuki is able to use the weapons that he plays in his video game in the astral projection. Or you have Makoto, who could turn into a type of cat or panther. But they don't really explore upon these things. It's kind of just, that was kind of interesting, but they don't go anywhere with it. Yeah, at the end, Makoto kind of uses it against the bad guys, but he says that he used it more just to freak them out. So it's not known whether he actually mauled them to death or just kind of made them run away in fear. And then there's the scientist lady, which is the only fan service in the whole anime. I see a lot of complaints of people saying that she was ugly. I thought she was alright. I don't know what these people are saying those things. But again, like, she's like Taro. Like, towards the end, her character just kind of, unsatisfyingly just resolves itself. Not really, and kind of just goes away. And this other characters like Masayuki's dad, Miyako's, Taro's, I forgot her name, the little girl that, the one that Taro likes or thought it was his sister. Her dad was alright too, but they don't. A lot of characters end up being useless with no real resolve or conclusion or kind of closure in the end. I wasn't really particularly moved by that. Now, the problem I have with the ending is that it's very anticlimactic. This being a work by the creators of Lane and Texelize the Hambare Renbei, I was expecting an ending that would blow my mind. Just something bold, provocative, something that would really just leave me just with a feeling of I just got blown away by this anime. But instead, it's your average, NC main character goes in, saves the girl, beats the bad guy somehow. Everybody lives happily ever after. The end. And I was very disappointed in that. It almost feels like the anime might have been rushed at the end. Perhaps it was. So that was, I did not really like the ending. It kind of put me off. What do you need, guys?
Not just a meat thing. I got some bags of the recovery bag.
Oh, you need them?
They stuck some stuff in there, but it's like it's just sitting there. I was gonna throw it on the pallet, so we try to do something with it. So we ain't gonna pallet out here empty on it, anything with already on it, it's dusty. I forgot something to do.
If it's a lot, so you can probably stack them on top of the pallet.
It's just two of them.
You can stack them on top if you want. If they fit. Sorry, I'm at work. I just figured I'd do this because I have nothing better to do but stand out here and do nothing. So that pretty much concludes, for the most part, what I think about Ghost Hound. There's also the psychiatrist guy, the one that helps Taro, but he was really just selfishly working towards his own study. I thought he was going to die multiple times, and he got brain damage out of going there to that city too much, and he's the one that gets constantly scared by the spirits. But again, they beat the bad guy, and everybody just lives happily. It was a very unsatisfying ending, and the last scene was very hyped up. The wind's blasting by, all these spirits are coming around. The old man that wanders the mountains, he managed to astral project. There's all these spiritual figures appearing. People show up, and then the portals open up with the spirits are coming out, and you see what looks like ice cream getting made, which is the big spirit, supposedly the dragon fighting the other spirit. It looked like I was pouring a swirly ice cream into my ice cream cone, and I ate it. And just like that, the scene ends. And I'm just thinking to myself, really? They tassel on the floor for like 10 seconds and then go up to the side. The final boss comes out of nowhere. They fight doing who knows what, and then they go back out to nowhere, and that was it. I was very disappointed with that, and Taro just... Sorry, customer dropped something. Okay, so I was very disappointed in that. It was just a mess. They should have really planned this ending out much better than that. But other than that, I did like everything else about the anime. It's actually very dark, very creepy, very scary. It's actually, in my opinion, does better than Lane or Terrace Life in showing the craftsmanship of what the creators have done up to that point. The kind of like the combination of the work in like screenwriting, but it just falls apart in the end. That's my critique of Ghost Town. Besides the intro and the ending, the music was more atmospheric than anything else. It was alright, nothing that really stands out. And so that's why I think that a lot of people did not like this anime. Basically, it made a bad first impression. But I enjoyed it. I think Masayuki saved it for me. And then there's some strange stuff that happens that doesn't get resolved. You have the affair between Masayuki's dad and Reika, the scientist woman. And you have a really, really strange scene where Masayuki is like stalking, like in a pervert type manner, stalking the scientist woman, where he tries to open her legs, but then she figures out someone's watching her, and Masayuki says, "I've been found out." Now you'll be thinking, how could he be found out if he was a spirit? But somehow she was able to recognize him when she drove by and saw him standing in the middle of nowhere. And then they sit in a car, and later on when they have to meet up, and he feels, I guess, embarrassed or just disgusted with her because of the affair with the dad and what he was trying to do to her in a perverted manner. And she tells him something. It's you see her mouthing it, but the anime doesn't voice it, similar to End of Evangelion when Gendo shoots. If you haven't watched Evangelion, then skip like the next 20 seconds. But it's similar to the scene where Gendo shoots Ritsuko and mumbles something. You don't know what it is because they deliberately didn't want you to hear. And so in this scene, she mumbles something to Masayuki. And then Masayuki starts staring at her chest. And she notices that he's acting strange. And then he puts her hand on her hand. And then she leans over and kisses him. What was going on here? What was this? Whoa. I would have liked to have seen more where this goes, but instead it's like, oh, just some awkward scene. They kind of got over, and then at the end, everybody's all happy, you know, whatever. Now, I'm not saying I wanted a miserable end. I just thought that the ending was not quality. That's what I think. You can tell me what you think in the comments. Again, there was no script. I didn't plan this. It's all improvised, based off of memory. Might be missing a few things, but that's basically what I think about Ghost Sounds. Thank you for watching. And I am currently on Code Geass. I'm going to be doing Code Geass next, just so you guys know.